Hi, this is Ryan from Ford Tractor Rehab. Today I'm working on a hydraulic section, and Sam G brought it over to work on, and he's worked on it before, rebuilt it, and has some issues. Well, when I took it off, so he had worked on it and put it all back together, and I asked some questions and they weren't able to answer very well. But I was looking for the adjustments on here to see if they were out of whack. And looking around, the first thing is the little peg that the mechanism rides on is broke off. Also notice I've backed it off now, but this was screwed way out of whack. The tolerances weren't correct at all. As I was saying, he was going by a video, and I watched the video too to see how it's done, and I haven't been working on these tractors very long, but I've worked on mechanical stuff all my life. And one of the things they say to do is to heat it up to get that pin out. But when you got a forged piece that's 70 years old and you're going to heat it up, how long do you expect it to last after that? So I don't want to heat them up. So what I've been doing is just go ahead and disassemble the whole thing all the way down. So I'll take this off and take it off over here and take it all apart, get the whole thing out. It's kind of a trick to get everything out. Clean everything up, press the part out, press that pin out, the cam follower pin, and then press a new one in. What I found on this one, and I had it really bad on another one I worked on, was the cam. There's the cam right there. Is really eat up pretty bad. So it's got a lot of corrosion on it. So I'm going to say this tractor sat a lot of years not being used and just had a lot of corrosion built up on it. One of them I had was scarred from one end to the other. And I wound up sanding it off with a little sander, and it worked really well. But the only thing is out of adjustment a little bit, but other than that, it works really well. From here, you can kind of see how that piece is bent. It's not real clear, but I can see from here it's bent. So working on the top section here, this one here had the bolts broke, so I don't know how I'm gonna get that sealed up. I'm gonna try to get this off later after I get it put back together. So I went through and did everything. Learned the hard way, you gotta have the draft lever in the right position when you're trying to take stuff apart and put it together. Went through and cleaned real good on the gasket surface. And I always like to take a file and smooth out anything in case somebody's been beaten on the edges. You see right there, the edge has been beat up. And I filed it down. And I saw the darndest thing here. Somebody dropped a needle out of a needle bearing before they put it back together last time. So this thing never was sealed good in the back here because it was open. You see some corrosion on the spring from all the water that got in there from this being open and the gasket not being sealed. I also found out I didn't have cotter pins I needed, so I had to go to Napa and go through and get an assortment of cotter pins. Put through and scraped everything. Still needs a little bit of cleanup. As you see where I had to file it down there where somebody's been beating on it. But just about ready to put it back together. One of the things that I picked up on when you're putting in the leather seal behind the O-ring, when you get it started in there, you got to go all the way around and push that leather in all the way around. Just be real gentle and get everything in, and it just kind of slides in. Okay, we're back inside. We're working on Bernard's tractor that he bought. We're doing just a little rehab on it. It's not a restoration at all. He wants it in working clothes. So we got the top section mating surface cleaned, scraped, and file smooth. Just about ready to go. Well, you can see I solved the jigsaw puzzle that is putting the O-rings on the top cover plate. This is the blank off plate for the hydraulics. I've got it prepared and ready to go, so I'm gonna put it under now. So in the process of working on this top cover and taking off a relief valve that somebody else put on, and apparently over tightened it, ruined the seal on here. And then the old seal that was on there originally, it's pretty bad shape too. So I was left with, what do I do? I need something. I don't have the parts with me right now. So with no seal, I got to thinking what would work. And I know I've seen this kind of stuff before, easily available. I went to all the parts houses, nobody had anything. Then I went to Ace Hardware and looked in the plumbing, and here's a little gasket set. This gasket set has this nylon O-ring, or two of them in there, and I opened it up and tried it out, and it fit really, really well. While I was there, I also found these ring terminals with a huge hole in them, and brought it back and tried that, and that's just a little bit, hole's a little bit too small, but with a round file it out, cut the tab off of it, and that would make a good seal there too. So I picked these up, used the white nylon on the one I'm working on, then I got whatever I need for the future.